So, another day, another series. I know my channel is just becoming series central, which I don't mind because hey, content. So I decided I was going to do a series called Booktube Made Me, and then I will complete it with whatever it is that Booktube made me do. In this case, I'm starting with a lot of favorites that Booktube has made me start, or rather, to be more precise, I'm looking at favorite authors. So for this very first episode of this series, Booktube Made Me, I'm going to be looking at the favorite authors that I discovered thanks to Booktube. And to start things up, I'm going to look at the very first series that I picked up thanks to Booktube, and the author that wrote it, who instantly became a favorite, Leigh Bardugo's Six of Crows. Now, I'm not going to lie, I definitely read Shadow and Bone first, the Shadow and Bone trilogy first, but I was not as invested in it. But I definitely know that everybody on Booktube were like, okay, just get through Shadow and Bone, it gets better. Six of Crows is just like epic level of storytelling, and I was like, okay, I'm going to just stick with it and wait, and it paid off. After I finished reading Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, Leigh Bardugo became one of my ultimate authors. I would pick up every single thing she ever writes. Like I just finished reading Ninth House. I talked about it in my October wrap up. Loved it. It was a 5 stars, fucking brilliant. But with Six of Crows, I knew Leigh Bardugo cannot do me wrong. And so far, all the books of hers that I've picked up ever since, I've just confirmed this belief for me that she's an absolute favorite. I love the way she world builds. I love the banter between her character. I love how invested and connected I am with all of them. I love every world she creates so far. I'm definitely having a blast thinking about all the other worlds that we have to experience from the brilliant mind of Leigh Bardugo. And then there's Laini Taylor, author of Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I know a lot of people will probably go up, but Laini Taylor, Strange the Dreamer. I haven't read Strange the Dreamer yet, but I definitely picked up Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I remember watching a video with Anna of our Clockwork Reader, and she was talking about, like, she was recommending fantasy books, no, fantasy series, and she gushed so much about the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and I just added it to my cart, and immediately I bought it. And the minute it arrived, I binge read it, and I loved the series. Like, if you were subscribed to my channel in the early part of this month, of this year, say like maybe March, April, May-ish, you see that I was binge reading this book. I was body reading it with a very good friend of mine, Sarah, over Nova Serendipity, and we loved every moment of it. I was reading this back to back. I could not put it down. I was so captivated by all the twists and turns, and just reading this book just confirmed for me that Laini Taylor would always take my money, no matter the series she writes, no matter the book she writes. And I've read 4 of the books she's written so far. I just have the Strange the Dreamer duology to finish, and then I will join the rest of everybody else waiting eagerly for yet another world, yet another character that will come from the brilliant mind of Laini Taylor. But she's definitely a favorite for me, and every day I'm thankful to Booktube for leading me to her and a series. Like, love them. And then there's Taylor Jenkins Reid. So far I've only read one Taylor Jenkins Reid book, but all I needed was just this one. All I needed was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I knew I'd found a new author who owned my heart and my soul, and there was absolutely nothing that she could do wrong in my eyes. Like, I knew I was going to read her, and I was going to follow her to the depth of wherever the hell she wants to take me to, because I had such a blast reading this. I remember I was watching Cindy of Read with Cindy's video, and it was the month she read this and was just she was gushing so hard about it. I immediately added it to my cart, and then the minute it arrived, I read it. I binge read it in a day. I went through all the emotions. This book evoked so much emotion in me, and like the minute I finished it, I absolutely knew that this author that was able to create this character, that was able to give me this perfection of a story that was filled with love and heartache and sorrow and joy and filled with this woman that was more woman than my imagination could even hope to just capture. Like, the minute I discovered this book and read this book, Taylor Jenkins Reid just immediately made it to my auto buy list, and I'm forever thankful to Booktube for leading me to her. Like, I'm so happy. And then there's The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I'm not gonna lie, before Booktube, I had no idea that this book existed. Which is sad because it's such a revolutionary book. and the story is just one that needs to be told, and was told in such a way that I was engrossed, and at the same time my heart was breaking, and at the same time I was dealing with the fact that this is reality. Like, Angie Thomas perfectly capturing the spirit, the essence, telling us the story about black brutality, but at the same time the refusal of a teenage girl to be silenced. Like, God, like, God, the amount of the talks, the conversation about structural racism and systemic racism, and microaggressions, like every single thing. This book was just a back-to-back, a page-to-page hit for me, and it amazes me that I would never have discovered Angie Thomas if not for Booktube. I might have, but I would not have read any of her books. I probably would have just watched the movie and be like, oh, cool. But because of Booktube, I picked up The Hate You Give. I loved it. The minute I finished it, I looked for other books that Angie Thomas had written, and the minute On the Come Up came out, I picked that up as well, and I love that book. I love that. I don't even know if I think I might just love On the Come Up just a little bit more than The Hate You Give. But then I have a weakness, I have a fondness for rap, so maybe that's why. But like, I'm thankful that Angie Thomas exists, even though, I'm still kind of upset about what happened with Sarah Dresden, and I don't even want to get into it. But yeah, I'm still grateful that Angie Thomas exists. I wish that she had not been manipulated into immediately jumping to the defense of someone that we ended up finding out was that just manipulated the entire situation. But this is not that video. If you want a full exhaustive conversation about that, I would direct you to Lauren over at the Novelush and Amina over at Amina Reads. Both of them went really into in-depth detail about that entire conversation, that situation, so go check them out. But yeah, I'm still grateful that Angie Thomas exists. I'm still grateful that she writes. I'm thankful that she didn't give up her dream, that she kept on writing, because she's created these amazing characters, these amazing books, and I'm just looking forward to more books coming from her. I just hope next time she does not just jump at the defense to, I don't know, like some people, but like, look at how much I love this book. Like, this Angie Thomas. I also discovered Kristoff. Like, oh God. Like, to imagine that I would never know, because none of my friends in real life read Kristoff. So to imagine that I would never know of Kristoff without Booktube, just, it humbles me. It humbles me so fucking much. Like, I read Nevernight first. Loved this entire Chronicles. I binge read Nevernight, read God's Grave, Dark Dawn, I finished, loved it. And then I also picked up the Illuminate Files, because I'm still on my J. Kristoff high. I'm still on my J. Kristoff kick, and I loved the Illuminate Files trilogy. Loved every moment of it. All that is left is for me to pick up the Lifelike series, and then I'll be like all caught up in all the J. Kristoff books that I own. And just every single time, every single new character, every single new story he writes, or he collaborates and writes with, oh yes, and Aurora Rising. I'm still going to read Aurora Rising, I have that as well. But every single story he collaborates just further seals my love, further deepens my love for this man, for the way he writes, for his use of words, for creating characters that I connect so much with, for creating such amazing, strong, kick-ass women. And the girls, goddamn, the way he writes girls, the way he writes women just makes me so bloody happy, because we all know that so many male writers suck at writing female characters, but J. Kristoff just does them so much justice, because I think he just goes down to exactly what George R.R. Martin said in an interview. You can tell he writes women, like people he relates with, people he's met in his life, the people he knows. And I loved it. I love every single one of his books that I've read so far. Definitely an absolute favorite, and once again, yet another jewel that Booktube brought my way, and that I will forever always be grateful for. I also picked up my very first Holly Black book thanks to Booktube. Everybody was talking all about the Crow Prince by Holly Black, and I was like, okay, do you know what, I'm gonna buy it. So I bought the Crow Prince, binge read it, and I lost my mind. I remember I read it in December, and then I had to wait a full month till January for Wicked King to come out, and then I devoured Wicked King, and then I had to wait with everybody else for another 11 months for Queen of Nothing to come out. In fact, we actually thought it was going to come out next year. So your universe answers prayers. Like, it senses what we need and provides. But like I was saying, if not for Booktube, I never would have heard about the Crow Prince, I never would have discovered this Ollie Black series. I never would have fallen in love with Ollie Black's writing, and now I have so many Ollie Black books. I can't wait to read them one by one, because you all know how much I love fairy stories, and I can understand the reason why Ollie Black is considered the queen of fairy, because she tells such unique stories, and it's just magical and beautiful, and the amount of lore that she walks into her stories just never fails to take my breath away. It's always such an experience, so enlightening. I can't wait to start Modern Fairy Tales, because but I'm going to finish reading Queen of Nothing first. Hell, I might actually pick up Modern Fairy Tales the minute I finish Queen of Nothing. Might be in the keyword, or I might just go into some sort of stupor and just be awaiting someone awakening me. Like, can someone said Richard Ganzi the third to come and wake me up once I just faint at the end of Queen of Nothing, because I have a feeling that book is going to wreck me, and I'm absolutely ready for it. Yeah, I just need Ganzi to be somewhere nearby to wake me up when I finally decide, like, oh my god, I've finished this book, I'm completely done, and I just collapse. Another author I discovered because of Booktube, S.A. Chakraborty, who is the writer of the Devabad trilogy, starting with City of Brass. Then we have Kingdom of Copper, and the last book in the trilogy, which is coming out next year, that is Empire of Gold. What can I say? Booktube has brought so much diverse, so much rich worlds to me that it makes me so happy. But I especially love this because it borrows so much heavily from Middle Eastern mythology, and I loved every moment of it. This world, the world of Devabad, the world of the Devabad trilogy is just so magical and so rich and so full of culture and so full of intrigue, so full of political machinations, which are just all the things I love in a book, all combined into one, and we get this amazing, brilliant book. Especially the characters you love and hate and love to hate, and characters you used to love, then you hate, then you love again, then you go back to hating. It takes you through all this whirlwind of emotions, and the fact that S.A. Chakraborty is able to take us through this journey and leave me gasping and wanting for more. That at the end of Kingdom of Copper, I was so broken, because I'm like, I can't believe I have to wait another year to read Empire of Gold. Like, why? So yeah, it makes me so happy. I love the series. I love S.A. Chakraborty's writing. I definitely know that this series is definitely a gateway for me into more of S.A. Chakraborty's writing. Every other book she writes, I'm going to pick up, because of how much and how well this entire world is done, and how much I love it. And just God, once again, Booktube to the rescue. Once again, Booktube being amazing and like keeping me well fed and well sustained, and I will forever be grateful for that, because once again, I love the series, and I love S.A. Chakraborty for giving it to us. Like, yes. And you all know I cannot talk about authors I discovered thanks to Booktube without mentioning the Queen, Sarah J. Maas. I know, like, she's definitely an author people love, and then people hate, and people love to hate. But I belong to the camp of people that love her. I love the words, I love the characters she's created. I would always be a Faisand. I will always be a Faisand fan, just as I would always be Team Rowelin. And whether I'm reading an Akota series or I'm reading a Throne of Glass series, these are characters that mean so much to me, that are brought to vivid life in such technicolor. I'm not going to lie and pretend that our series are perfect. They are not. I'm not going to lie and pretend that our writing is perfect. It is not. But there's something just addictive about the way she tells her stories to me that just has me turning the pages and flipping the pages and not being able to stop. I stay awake all night catching up on her books. Like, I binge-read the entire Throne of Glass series in a week. I binge-read the entirety of Akota series in about 5 days. So yeah, you can see, when I say 5 days, in 4 days, I binge-read the entire Akota series in 4 days. Actually no, because Akota took me like 2 weeks, because I'm not a Tamlin fan, and it took forever. God, that first book was so boring, except for when Rhysand came up. Yeah, sorry, I'm a Rhysand fan, bite me. But then, like, once we hit Hakoma, like, I binge-read the rest of the series in like 3 days. So yeah, like, I love it. I love her. I love her writing. I love her world. And as to be expected, I am definitely going to be there, right there. My greedy hands extending for Crescent City to come into my hands the minute it's released next year, because I am absolutely very proud to be Sarah J. Maas trash. And yeah, I wear that trash badge with pride. If anybody ever sees a Sarah J. Maas trash enamel pin, or a patch, just send it my way. Let me know. I'm going to be putting that on my clothing and walking around with pride, because I repeat, it's not perfect, but I love her stories, I love her world, I love her books, I love her writing, I love her. And I'm thankful to Booktube for sending her my way, for bringing her my way. Another author that Booktube brought my way, Ellen Wong, writer of the Kiss Quotient. I remember everybody was saying that, oh, you absolutely need to read this book, Nora, you would love it. And I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't know why everybody was all like, you need to read it, you need to read it, it's so good. But I was like, okay, fine, I'll trust in you, I'll believe in you guys, I'll read the book. And I'm proud to say that it worked. It is a really, really great book. I enjoyed absolutely every moment of this book. Oh my god, these characters are so fucking real, and the way in which Ellen tells Stella's story, and then when you get to the end of the story, when you get to the end of the book, and in her author's notes, and then Ellen talks about how she herself was diagnosed as being on the spectrum, and getting to that point, like it was just so fucking, it was so heartwarming. I cried. I was like, I won't cry. I won't say I cried, but like I got teary-eyed. It was so good. But understanding where she's coming from gave me a deeper appreciation of the story. But even without that, I suspected, because I repeat, Ellen Wong told such a fantastic story. It's funny, it's romantic, it's very, very sexy, very, very hot, and it's just so real. These characters are so real, and I remember finishing this book and telling myself that I am going to buy every single book Ellen Wong ever releases, because I had such a blast. I loved reading it so much. And the fact that, once again, I would never have discovered her without Booktube, because it's not the kind of books that my friends read. So yeah, so it was just I love this. I love this. God damn, I love this. I love this so much. So yeah, it just, once again, a big thank you to Booktube for bringing her my way, for giving me the chance to discover the writing of this amazing, brilliant, fantastic, creative woman. Like, wow. And yes, I have actually read The Bright Test. I'm definitely going to be talking about it in my November wrap-up. I also enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as Kiss Quotient, because Kiss Quotient is just like right up there, but it was really, really good, and I enjoyed it. And finally, the last author that Booktube made me like fall in love with and automatically became an auto-buy author for me is Alyssa Cole. I've mentioned it so many times on my channel. I love a Reluctant Royal series. I am addicted to it. I even have a why you should read the Reluctant Royal series. I'm going to leave that video somewhere up here. You should totally check it out. But like I said, I'm just so invested in her stories. I'm just so invested in her world. I'm just so invested in those characters, and a depiction of black girl nerd, of like, I'm not going to go into all the details of why I love the series. Once again, the series is up. I'm going to leave it down in the description bar below. Check it out. But I love the series so much. I love Alyssa Cole so fucking much. She's an instant auto-buy author for me. I can't wait to slowly acquire the rest of her backlist, so that I can then take my time and savour and read them one by one, because she's definitely an instant fave for me. And I know I would never have discovered her if not for Booktube, to be specific. Be over at Bewitched Shelves. Thank you, B. Thank you so fucking much. Like, if not for them, I would not have discovered the brilliance at Alyssa Cole. And it just, seeing everybody reiterate the fact that, oh, our books are good, our series are amazing, she is fantastic, I should check her out. And I did. I'm so thankful I took that plunge, because there is no going back for me as far as I'm concerned. I am solidly on the Alyssa Cole train. I would follow her wherever she decides to take me, whatever book she decides to write. I would definitely be all over that. But yeah, those are 10 authors that instantly became auto-buy authors for me, because they were recommended, or rather because their books were recommended to me on Booktube, and I checked them out and I realized I love them, and they became auto-buy authors for me. So yeah, let me know if any of these authors are auto-buy authors for you as well. Just drop it down in the comment bar below. If you like this video, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. Check out my other videos, subscribe if you want to. I make new videos every Sundays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I'll see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself. Bye.